I quit. I can't do this anymore. Leg days are just too much for me. Bodybuilding is just too much for me. So I quit. April Fools, just kidding. Obviously, that's never gonna fucking happen, guys. I love bodybuilding and working out way too much. Anyone who knows anything about me would know that's completely never gonna happen. And if I were to ever say that, I've been kidnapped and cloned, and that's just not who I am. But yeah, anyways, it is leg day today. It's been a minute since we filmed a leg day, but I figured let's get to it. It's not my favorite day of the week, but it is a required day of the week. So, it's time to get ourselves amped up and really just lock the fuck in because, leg days are no joking matter. If you're not leaving the gym crawling after a leg day, then did you even hit a leg day? That's something you have to ask yourself. Typically, after I consume my pre-workout snack, I feel pretty okay. To be quite frank, though, after my pre-workout snack this morning, I'm feeling still a little depleted and weak, and I know it's because this cut has been progressing for a bit. So I figure I'm going to drink some caffeine this morning just to kind of help me with energy and help satiate hunger levels as well. So we're going to get a coffee before this workout. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the intro. Kind of wanted to play a little April Fool's prank on y'all. It is currently 4:04 a.m. First of the month. Let's get this show on the road. So, what are we doing today for legs? Well, we are going to be hitting some squats, close stance squats. As you already know, squatting is a requirement for leg day. It's non-negotiable. If you want big, juicy legs, you have to squat. I've been doing a new variation of these squats. Typically, when I normally squat, I do it at a 90-degree angle. However, nowadays, what I've been doing for squats is I've been going a lot deeper. So a lot more, pardon my French, but ass to grass type squats. And the reason why is because I do heavily believe in the deeper the squat, the bigger your legs will grow. So with that being said, naturally, it's better to squat deeper, really focus on that form and the depth itself. That's what we're going to be doing today. And lowering the weight slightly to really focus on that depth as well. One thing I did want to talk about, and it's been on my mind, is binge days and what to do if you ever have that happen. I can admit, when I used to diet before working out and lifting weights, I used to try to diet before. I used to try to lose weight because I had certain goals. Sometimes, on occasion, because, we're all human and this was my first time ever dieting, I had days where I would essentially overeat my calories and have like a binge day, and I would feel really guilty the day after. A lot of people question themselves and doubt themselves when they have these moments and think to themselves, should I give up? Oh, I binged, it's over, I gained all the weight back. And they start really getting in their heads and doubting themselves. And some people go as far as to quit and say, well, I already binged, I already cheated on my diet, I might as well just give up. And the thing about binging, and if you cheat on your diet to that extent, you should not give up for two reasons. Firstly, because that's not how weight gain works. If you see your weight go up in the scale after a day of binging, let's say you've been tracking for a few weeks and you've been losing steady weight and progress. And let's say you have a binge day where you cheat on your diet and you consume a lot more food than you were supposed to. And let's say, perchance, you hop on the scale the next day and you see the weight change on the scale. You see it fluctuate a lot. Well, that's the thing about weight itself and weight management itself in terms of losing weight, gaining weight, tracking progress, is that weight fluctuates a lot. And let's say your weight does change on the scale, you shouldn't freak out. A lot of it is water retention. Doesn't mean you gained fat. That's not how fat works. That's not how fat gain or fat loss works. It's not an overnight thing. It's not something that happens overnight or in a few days. It is a buildup of accumulative days of either consistent overeating or undereating to lose weight or gain weight. One thing for sure is you should not let it affect you to that point where you feel like you have to give up on your diet. In the past, like I said, I used to have those moments. Very rare, but they did happen because I was new to the dieting game. I was new to this. I didn't really know what I was doing. And I had moments of weakness when I caved and I wanted to eat certain foods, and I did. And I would beat myself up for it a lot. If you do happen to have a relapse in your diet and you cheat on your diet, don't beat yourself up about it. Just get back on the horse and start again. Try your best not to let it define your character and your goals. It happens. Sometimes we cheat on our diet because it's hard to do it every day. So try your best not to let it affect you mentally, because it can be very discouraging to be working so hard and dieting for so long and then having those moments of weakness where you cave and you end up having an extra cookie or an ice cream sandwich or whatever the case may be. But it's something that you have to remind yourself that it's not the end of the world, just as long as you get back on track and stick with it and commit to it. Now, if you do this every day and start excusing your behavior, that's another story. It's one thing to have a mishap and, kind of mess up on your diet once every now and then or once in a blue moon. However, if you're doing it on a weekly basis or twice a week, at that point, you can't really excuse your behavior. At that point, it's just you need to learn how to also control yourself. It is currently 4:19. Trying to get in there by 4:30, 4:40, the latest. Have enough time to properly lift and edit and film. In terms of dieting, it is important and imperative that you remind yourself constantly what your goal is to kind of help you stay on track, so you have less of those mishap days. Everyone's methods are different in terms of dieting and how they like to stay on track. What I personally like to do is I just remind myself what my goal is, and I remind myself why I started in the first place. And I look back at progress photos as well. If I'm feeling discouraged during a bulk, I like to look back at the progress I've made on cuts to help me remind myself I did get to this point once and I can do it again. I always believe that working out and dieting and properly tracking your meals is only complicated if you allow it to be. It's just consistency, repetition, and effort. That's really all bodybuilding is at the end of the day. And it's, again, definitely doable. It's not impossible. With consistency and dedication and having a strong mindset and willpower, that's all the possible that you need. But nothing is impossible. In the famous words of Tom Platz, if you really, really want something that bad enough, like you want it more badly than you want to breathe, you'll find a way to get there. That is a good cup of joe. I'm gonna finish this puppy up real quick, and then once we're done, we're gonna head inside, kill some legs. And you already know this whole spiel that I do. Gonna show the sets, all that, and the progression at the end, show the pump. And yeah, I'll see y'all afterwards. Alrighty. So that pretty much wraps it up. As you can tell by the footage, man, oh man, did we get a sick ass leg pump today. Great session. The gym was a little crowded today, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Quads are fried, hamstrings are feeling nice and big. The calves are starting to come in as well too. I'm noticing some size on my calves. The quads were looking mighty thick. The only downside is genetically, not in size for my legs, but more so the amount of body fat that I store is mostly in my legs, I've noticed. So it's harder for me to see striations and striated quads when I'm cutting. But other than that, I mean, it was an amazing leg day. Got a good ass pump, sick ass great leg day. Surprised a lot of my strength is still there considering I've been on a cut for a bit. And yeah, I mean, that's the main important indicator if you're progressing in the gym while on a cut or bulking or just in general. You want to make sure you're progressively overloading, and if you're cutting, you want to make sure you're not losing too much strength. If you can still hit roughly the same numbers while on a cut, that's very, very good sign. You want to hold on to that strength for as long as possible. But nonetheless, it was an amazing workout. Got a good ass pump, feeling good. The gym was a little crowded, but it is what it is. Other than that, that pretty much wraps it up. I'm gonna go home, edit this little guy together. You already know this whole spiel. Get some food in me, shower, change, get ready for work, all that jazz. Tomorrow's my rest day, so most likely no video. But yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Alrighty.